Written by Dr.Yaşam Ayavefe.
An information management job. Knowledge management is applied to an industrial reality and a product logic. Information management rules meet the requirements of any data processing regardless. Data must be controlled through repositories that must be designed, implemented, and shared. They should be defined by their type, nature, history, author. With metadata, a term used once in its literal sense. The management of data, why such a choice was made all of a sudden, what the source of the data is, what its main purpose is, etc. effectively requires a reflexive approach to understanding it. An important concept in this context is data guides that ensure the compliance of the system with the general rules, standards, application horizon, and strategy defined around the system. For example, guidelines that define ownership of information. It is an important concept because it specifies which business view should be valid. So, we will say that the financial data belongs only to the finance department, which is the reference. These rules are implemented in the tool by defining the logical rules executed by the routines. For example, defining mandatory fields and giving error messages if they are not filled, approval by an administrator before saving data, etc. A communication profession. But in this industrial world where information is of immense operational value, data is not just there to inform. It also acts as a support for actions to trigger steps in processes and workflows. As a result, we can connect the data recovery phase in different product main management databases. By necessitating to achieve the downstream of the transition to the higher product. A more operational character may occur, which is closely linked to the life cycle of the product. For example, a product will be declared as saleable only if its selling price is available. This management was not easily accepted by the teams in the strongest sense. More generally, the completeness of the data is valued through the relevant workflow. It is a matter of plotting improvement using a vision based on their activation at the right time. It plays a very important role at the intersection of many activities and trades that require continuous mediation work. It is important to determine the evolution of data about processes, to prepare a list of actions to be taken, to evaluate the effects of decisions. It is necessary to be in constant communication with various actors through meetings. In this continuous adjustment work, the registration of the user is essential. This is done with the aim of better adapting to the needs and ensuring proficiency in the strategy of the profession or even the company. It is a matter of increasingly involving operational users in the design and configuration of information systems. Data journalism. The second of the Data Journalism Awards held in Paris on the 20th of June was an indication of the institutionalization of data journalism on an international and French scale. There were only 2 French works in the competition. How can this contradiction between the French and international media be explained? A few arguments can be put forward that we will consider here. Data journalism is carried out by actors who are not journalists. It actually leads to distrust among journalists. Through the handling of raw data, its proponents make claims of supreme impartiality, which is denied and ridiculed by journalists. The practices and achievements of data journalism call into question the specific achievements of professional journalism. Web entrepreneurs movement. Data journalism in the United States has flourished thanks to the investment of certain players from free software into journalism. Under the impetus of symbolic figures, majors form special teams and integrate them into the editorial staff. In France, the model is different. Data journalism is carried there by journalistic web entrepreneurs. Database journalism is among different terminologies such as data-driven journalism and data journalism. He then gains by integrating the data term into a Frenchized expression. The necessity of this term is explained as follows: the expression imposes itself in the public sphere without being able to be fully defined, such as information society or sustainable development.
Written by Dr.Yaşam Ayavefe.